Rightio, welcome back to CR-4P YouTube channel. I've actually now got the rotator all labelled. I've done the bottom as well, upside down of course. It's all labelled. I've done my alignments. You see the north point and the direction we got there. Also in this part of the video I'm going to show you it all working. But first off, if I stop bumping everything, I'll be right. I'm going to show you the insides and what I've done to the actual controller. So I'll just take the lid off. The actual top and bottom housings have been repainted. So now the display is the display itself. The actual backing display is actually out of another rotator controller, and I've actually put LEDs in each corner of this one. Oh, sorry, in the top corner here. And how I normally do them, I've got my little PC board in here, which switches between the direction LED on the needle and the limit. So if you look in there, I'll show you this later on when it's working. You've got a red LED and a white LED, or it's actually a blue, and the blue will stay on all the time, and then until it gets to the limit end stop, and then it'll actually turn into red. So when you get the limit, so the controller is basically the same as it was. It's just it's been all fixed up. I've put terminal blocks on all the PC boards. The PC board's the same, but I've just put terminal blocks on. And when you get down to the bottom, you can see the terminal blocks down in there as well. Just makes it easier for assembly and disassembly and whatnot and working with. So the first gear on the drivetrain, we can't see it because there's not enough light. I'll turn the other lights, which might be a good idea. A bit more light maybe might help us. So the first gear on the drivetrain in the display has been replaced, and just look down the side there, there's the gear, when the final drive gear is down the bottom, has got a spring around it and has been re-glued, so it stays affixed to the shaft because it has to. The back has been totally rewired and repainted, so it was repainted gloss black. I have changed the input terminal on here, which used to be for the AC input. I've now changed it to the AC output. So if you go around the back here, I've wired the wires in, and it's wired this way, and so we can actually change between the three sets of voltages. So I might actually just quickly take that screw off, get this thing out of the road. I should have taken this off before, but so to change voltages, just undo this screw. This is the output voltage as opposed to the input voltage. Take that off, and in here we have the voltages marked, so 28, 31 and 37, and then that refers to this chart here on here. So you haven't got to change terminals. On the original version there's just to change the terminal, then just a 9-way terminal, and used to change the last terminals. So I just changed it all around. It has a create terminal block here. They tend to fit really well. So to change the voltages, you just undo the lock nut inside here. There's a lock nut there, just to spread the load across the two sides. I'd like double-sided PC board, so that just gives me a bit more contact area. So we change that, pull it off, undo the screw, and then change it to the new one, then put the lock nut back on again. So that's basically what happens there. So I'll put this cover back on before we lose it. And I've totally rewired everything in the as much as I can in there, in the controller. Where needed, I've rewired, I should say. And I've changed the trim pots for the preset adjust and needle adjust to multi-turn potentiometers. Down in there, you can't see the bottom one. So it's got a side entry 10-turn potential. Just makes it a lot easier to align everything. There we go, there's a bit of a quick run round through that. I've got my patch lead on it at the present moment, so we'll just get that out of the rope now. That doesn't want to stay up there. So we have a fused IEC socket here, and an earth bolt, and all the rest of the labelling that I put on here. Rightio, so now I've got this terminal block here, if you'll call it, terminal block to an adapter, so I can actually plug the into a control cable lead, which shall actually show you this thing working. So what we'll do is we'll plug in our IEC socket, like that, plug out, sorry about that, we just went to the screen, so we'll plug in the remote cable, or control cable, same thing, plug him into the rotator. Now I've probably mentioned this before in videos, I'm using LTW Amphenol plugs, and these are a snap lock plug. So basically you've got locators, and there's probably, you can see down in here, there's like little notches. It's not a thread at all on this on the locking part. So we line up the lock point, the guide. You then turn the thing around a little bit until you get the two grooves aligned, and then it's just like a quarter turn or just over a quarter turn that locks it into position. So no threaded, and then the plugs are all sealed all the way through, so there's quite a bit of sealing in those ones here. So you don't need to put a boot over, you don't need to cover it in silicone. So you know, I'll even show you the inside of this. There's actually an O-ring down in here which seals against that face. Inside there's a gland, and inside the back of this is a gland. So they're IP67 rated, that's why I like them, and they're 10 amp rated as well, 20 amp rated I should say. So there we go. So okay, so I'm going to just move this back a little bit, and we're going to go for a bit of a drive and show you it all working. So let's go into manual mode first, make sure that's turned on, and I'll just bring this forward again so you can see. Hopefully you can see, there's so much light here. Let me hand over this, maybe you might just see. There's just too much light here. You see that LED, blue LED there on the direction needle. So I like these controllers because you have momentary or lock within these things. You actually just lock down there. So you can do momentary, so just do normal momentary. And then we can do into lock mode. So hands free. And if you want to unlock it, you just do that. So you just do. So we go all the way around to south. Well, there's east at the present moment. The rotation time on these is fairly slow. I have to look at the data on it again. It's well over 60 seconds, but it is a high torque motor for big aerials. So we have just overlap. And then you actually can see now if I press the lever, you'll see the blue light come on, red light come on. Blue, red. So there we go. Only stays on while the direction switch is on. So we can then go into right or CW, and we can go into lock as well. And then if you want to do, go up to west, you can then do a preset. If you want to do preset, you flick the preset knob across to preset, and this will go up to north up the top here. Then we can do a 90 thereabouts. This is all running really, really well. And then if you want to go manual again, you just flick it across and go manual again. Turn the lock again if you wanted to. take it off. We might just go down here and do preset again. Limit switches will take over at the very end. Not a problemo. Okie dokie, so we'll come back up the north and we'll call this all done then. I'll put the casing back on this and we shall move forward, and yeah, we'll excuse me. So yeah, so we're coming up to northeast. And we'll stop at north, and we'll be, there we go. I was out a little bit here, but that's beside the point. Okay, so we'll come back in the manual and just do a little bit of a tweak. There we go, it's back 100% north. So not a problem. I shall, that's it. We shall catch you in the next project. Have a good day. Bye.